What if you could increase your business by 2 to 3 times without having to work with more clients? That's exactly what we've seen and been able to achieve with many of the clients in our Clarity Coaching program. And it comes back to one main thing, and that is creating and then delivering on premium services and having premium fees. So what we're going to get into today are the steps that you can take to create a premium offer that can help you to increase your business, and that's grow your business by 2 to 3 times. All right, so let's dive in. The first thing to mastering this is understanding that the biggest roadblock is not the market and it's not the clients, it's you. Most often what holds consulting business owners back from charging significantly higher fees, which again are usually 2 to 3 times greater than what you're charging today, is the disbelief that the founder has or the business owner has or that the team has about the market being able to bear what they provide. But if you look at the market, and I mean any market in any industry around the world, what you will find is that there are always segments of the market where people are willing to pay significantly more for something that you could say is essentially the same thing. Let's just look at the auto market for a moment. Right? People buy Hyundais, they buy Toyotas, they buy Lexus, people buy Maseratis, Ferraris, McLarens, Bentleys, Rolls Royce. Some of these cars, right, cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Others cost $50,000, $30,000. Why is that? Well, it's because there are people at the upper end of the market who are willing to invest significantly more for that premium experience. Imagine for a moment if somebody, back in the day who's creating cars said, yeah, nobody will ever spend more than whatever, car was going for in those days. So let's just say even today, if somebody said, who would ever pay more than $40 or $50 or $60,000 for a car? There would never be the luxury car market, right? But look around at how many brands there are that serve that more premium luxury market. There's always opportunity is what's important to understand. And so what will hold you back from doing this is not the market that you're in. It's the belief or disbelief that you have. And so to get around that, instead of thinking about, will my clients pay for this? Start thinking about what kind of value do I need to create and deliver that my clients or that the market that I'm serving would be excited and willing to invest at this much higher level. Now, that might mean a few things. It might mean that you need to package a significantly more valuable offering and take it to your existing client base, and then find that a smaller percentage of your current client base says yes to that. But that's okay, because imagine for a moment that right now you're charging, let's say $5,000 per month for your clients. So that's $60,000 per year. But what if there are clients out there that would actually be willing to pay $15,000 per month? Well, that means that you could work with one client to equal 3 of your current clients. So even if there's only 30 or 20% of the market that you're currently serving that would be willing to take you up on that more premium offer, it's a win for you, because that's all you need. You don't need the whole market, right? You just need 25 or 30% of the market to take you up on what you have. And in many cases, it can actually be 10% of the market that is willing and able to pay at the premium level, but they more than make up for it, okay? The second thing to consider is that it may mean that you need to slightly adjust who your ideal clients are. Maybe right now you're targeting, very small companies. And so having, higher price, kind of more premium offers might have a certain cap to it. And that might then mean that you need to look at, well, what's the next level up in terms of the type of client that I'm serving, but what's a slightly larger organization that would have no problem investing at the higher, more premium level? That might be another thing for you to think about. So realize, in addition, this is why it's so powerful and such an opportunity for you, that the difference between the time, the involvement, the resources that you need to deliver on a smaller client engagement are generally not that different for what you need to deliver on a more premium client engagement. And in fact, what we've observed over many years of running, businesses and working with thousands and thousands of consultants is that smaller clients tend to actually take up more time, right? They're more needy. They want more information, more details. They're more hesitant. They don't, it's harder to retain them. And yet higher paying clients typically are more hands-off, right? They're already more confident. They take more action. Therefore, they get better results. They stay with you longer. Therefore, right, higher paying clients, more premium clients tend to actually be much more profitable for you and for your business. So it's a win in many ways. Okay, so let's talk about how do you develop this premium offer? Well, one way that I like to think about this, and it's how I talk to clients through this, is to imagine for a moment that you were talking to your ideal clients and they said to you, listen, I have no max budget. I have unlimited budget. I just want the best. I want the fastest delivery. I want the highest level of results. I just want the best experience. What is that? What can you do for me? And just start brainstorming, right? Without any limiting beliefs, without any thing that might hold you back. Just ask yourself, if there was unlimited budget for me to solve the types of problems that my clients have and to deliver the best result, what would I do? And what would that look like? And that often starts to yield a set of opportunities or things that you can do to create massive value for your clients. And that becomes the beginning of this premium offer, because the reality is that some clients don't really have a max budget. And it doesn't mean that there's unlimited money, but it means that they have a lot more money that they could put towards what you could do for them if they knew that you could help them in that way. But most consultants don't talk about everything they can do, right? And when I say everything that you can do, I'm not suggesting that you provide 10 different services. I'm asking you and suggesting that you think about how can you deliver and take that one service or that how you solve that one problem, and how can you do it in a much bigger way. And that might mean there's more involvement from you or your team. It might mean that you're using more technology. It might mean that there's a smaller group of clients that you're working with, but they're working more closely with you, okay? But it might be that you're adding on events or different ways to engage with clients in a more intimate, setting. There's lots of ways that you can do this, but you want to ask yourself, what is the opportunity for me to add massive value for my clients if there was no budget in mind? And that's the starting point. Another important consideration is that this is not just about you thinking through, well, how can I create a lot of value in isolation, right? There must be alignment between what you are proposing and the value that you're going to create and the value that that client wants. That alignment of their desires and you understanding what is meaningful for them is the most important thing. So again, just to reiterate, this is not about coming up with just a whole bunch of new ideas and yeah, I can do these 10 different things for you and I'm gonna charge a bunch of money, but nobody wants it. No, it's getting really clear about what is the real problem that you solve. How can you add value? And how can you add value beyond what maybe you typically do and what the client would typically think about? And so how can you start to stack that value? And then because you're delivering significantly greater value, you're then able to charge more for that. And as I mentioned in one of my previous examples, the value doesn't only have to be about adding more money, to their bank account or helping them to decrease costs. There might be value in them getting more access to you. It might be value in them getting more reporting or having some kind of additional system set up for them. There's lots of things that you can do, but ask yourself, what do my clients care about? How do they define value, or what is valuable for them? And then start thinking about ideas of how you can put that together, put a package together that allows you to charge 2 to 3 times what you're currently charging. Next, how do you start to think about actually selling this? Well, one thing that can really work well is to bring in scarcity. And I'm not talking about fake scarcity, like where you say there's 100 of these available, but it's like a digital course, and then 100 people buy, and then I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. Right? I'm talking about real, genuine scarcity. And the reason why this can be real and genuine is for a few different reasons. Number one is that by kind of definition, if you will, a more premium offer is not something that you're going to necessarily, or at least originally, be able to extend to all people. And so you might have scarcity in, we're rolling out this new program, and we're going to be working with 5 new clients or 5 clients over the next 6 months through this. That's a scarcity. Right? 5 clients. So you're talking to people, they might want to be one of those clients if, again, it aligns with what they want. So that's number one. Number two is you can use also monetary scarcity, where, let's go back to our example, it's going to be $15,000 when you launch this to the public, but right now you're just going back to your current or past clients and telling them about this new program, this new service that you're going to be rolling out, and they can save $36,000 per year. Let's say if it's an annual thing, and because you're going to give them $3,000 off per month. So instead of $15,000 per month, they can get it for just $12,000, right? But it's $12,000 as opposed to $5,000 that you're currently charging. That's a massive win, okay? And as you start getting more people coming to this new offer and service, it allows you to start capturing more case studies, more testimonials. You can now raise your prices because you're more confident in being able to show the value of what you're actually providing and doing. And so as I just mentioned, right, going back to current or past clients, this is actually the most effective way that I've found and we've seen with our clients in selling premium offers. Is that a premium offer when you launch brand new is not about going to the general market. Start with the people that you already have relationships with. Go back to them and tell them about why you're doing this, right? You've found ways to add greater value. You've seen certain problems in the market. And so because of that, you've put together this new package. This new package adds significantly greater value because it has these things. This is the problems that it solves. These are the outcomes that it creates, right? The results, so on and so forth. And then say to them, is this something that would be of interest to you? I'd love your feedback on it. That's a very easy type of conversation to have, but in many cases can lead to those people going, yeah. And of course, if you have some scarcity scarcity inside of it, people going, yeah, I would like to be a part of that. Once you've got that, now you can go to the market, right? Using your testimonials, using your proof, the stories, case studies, all that, and sell right to the more general public. Of course, you can and should talk about this on things like LinkedIn or other social media platforms, or if you have an email newsletter or a database, you can send out emails and do that as well. But I would say start with, and this is what we've seen such great success with doing this ourselves and with clients, is just roll this out initially to your current and past clients. If you want help developing and designing a premium offering that can earn you 2 to 3 times or more compared to what you're doing right now to really grow your business and your profitability to the next level, then go to consultingsuccess.com and click on coaching to get in touch, or somewhere around on this page, you will find a link that you can click on that will take you there. This is the kind of stuff that we do with our clients in our Clarity Coaching program every single day, helping them to earn significantly more, to increase their fees, to really become go-to authorities in their market where they can command premium pricing. If that's of interest to you, get in touch. We'd be happy to have a conversation with you.